Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Jordan. Thanks so much for watching. Today I wanted to talk to you about finding good deals on guitars. And I'm not an expert at this, but this comes from about 5 years of me buying and selling a bunch of guitars and other guitar related gear and equipment. It comes from me as a singer-songwriter and trying to figure that out and just understanding what tools I need to be able to do the job of a singer-songwriter and to be able to write music that's fun to listen to, be able to write in an inspired way, and just kind of consolidating all of that information. This is not a buy my course kind of video. This is not a any type of consulting video. This is just me trying to put information that I think will benefit other songwriters and other guitar players into the world so that you can find it and hopefully save some money and not make some mistakes that I made. So with that, I want to lay a foundation first, and then we'll get into my 5 points that I've got. I think the last two are the most important. Personally, I think that. But you've probably heard most of these in one form or another. I'm going to consolidate them. I'm going to try to share with you as best I can how to save some money when buying guitars. So with that, let's get into building our foundation. So 3 things that you're going to have to think about right out of the gate as somebody who's looking to buy a guitar and is looking for a deal on that guitar. You're going to have to think about cost, which is what the price of the instrument is for sale. You're going to have to think about value. In this case, we're talking about used market value. So normally that's quite a bit lower than new, unless you're talking older guitars, which are quite a bit more than new. So that's important to realize and think about. And then you're going to talk about worth, or you're going to think about worth. And worth is what you're willing to pay for said instrument, okay? When those 3 align in a way that is pleasing to you, that's when you're finding a good deal, okay? And I should specify that me as an instrument fanatic, because I love guitars, I love the construction of them, I love what they each can do. I love the intricacies of what wood and materials will do. For me, that's how I look at it. Other people who are going to be reselling guitars and actually making money off of them, which I rarely do, I'll be honest. Not because I don't sell them. I rarely make money back off the guitars I bought. So if you're looking for resale, then you're going to have to think about margin for profit and margin for repairs and whatnot. So I thought about that a little bit with this guitar that I'm holding in my hand. I'll get to this in just a second. There is a reason I'm holding this guitar right here. But with our definitions in place, let's jump into point number 1. Now, like I said, I think the last 2 points are the most important, but the first one, which is know what you want and know about what you want, is super important and super critical because that's going to affect your price drastically. What brand the guitar is and what model, because models vary from brand to brand. Very important, and obviously you're going to like some guitars from some companies and some models from some companies and not others. That's just the way it works. And secondly on that, you're going to look at what the materials are. What kind of tone wood does it have? Does it have a bone nut and a bone saddle? Are the tuning machines in good shape? Is it missing anything? Is it missing strings? You know, all these different things. Does it have a pickup? That's a big one. Get to that in a second. All these different things that you got to think about with just what the materials are of the guitar, okay? Because that will affect drastically. Like for instance, this is a Rhodes Series, Martin Rhodes Series Special versus a Martin 0018. There's quite a bit of price difference between the two. Even on the used market, there's about $1,000 difference, about $1,000 difference in the United States. And that is because they're made from better materials than this. They're made with a little higher quality craftsmanship, more details that are paid attention to. And overall, I think they're a little bit prettier, but maybe not. So that's important. Condition is a huge one that you have to watch out for. It's really easy to fool somebody online. And for instance, this guitar, if you've been around acoustics much, you probably noticed that there's at least 2 cracks in this one, right here and right here. What you can't see is that there's a third one here that does have a cleat under it. This one doesn't have a cleat, but this one does. So these 2 were solid for sure. And then this one, the braces are holding it in place. So I wasn't worried about that one either. But there is another crack right up here that you can't see in the camera. and the neck on it was actually starting to lift off a little bit. So I had to consider, am I going to be able to fix those, or do they need fixing? Have they already been fixed? Or am I going to have to dump a bunch of money into a guitar that's maybe not worth that much to repair? So all things that you need to consider. And then the last thing you need to know is details about the guitar. So for instance, limited editions, or if they have a pickup or not, I mentioned that a minute ago. All these different things about the guitar, like what kind of fingerboard does it have? All of these can affect the price of the guitar. So you need to know these details so that you can look at something, identify it quickly, and see if it's a good deal or not. Because if it's a good deal, you're going to want to jump on it fast. So know all of these things about the stuff that you enjoy and like. How I would recommend doing your research is going to guitar stores, playing as many guitars as you can do without offending anybody at guitar stores, okay? We're all in the same community. We all love music. Be kind to everybody. Don't just go and sit for hours and hours, try every guitar, and then leave without buying anything. That's kind of, that's not very courteous, okay? So be strategic and careful about how you do that to not offend people, and to be kind. But these are things that you need to know ahead of time. So this guitar, for instance, we've already established it's a Martin 000 Road Series Special. So instantly, looking at the back and sides, knowing the materials once again, I can see that these are Sapele because I've seen a lot of guitars with Sapele. I know that it's a Road Series, so it obviously has solid woods all the way through. So a quick Google search will inform you that these guitars were a Musician's Friend guitar. And I think some other places sold them as well, but this is like what popped up right at the top of Google. And they sold brand new for $850. They did not have a pickup. They were a spruce top, solid Sapele back and sides. So it's pretty light overall. Ebony fingerboard, but it's not the dark ebony. It's, this lighter colored ebony, which is supposedly easier to get a hold of. I'm not going to get into all of that. But knowing these specs, I could deduce, even before I looked it up on Musician's Friend, that the guitar probably sold brand new for about $800 to $1,000, somewhere's right in there. Just because of the tone woods it had on it, just because I saw that it had binding on it. I could tell that it was indeed a Road Series, and it was indeed probably worth, brand new $800 to $1,000. So then we take into consideration the damages, if they've been repaired, whether or not it has a pickup, because I'm a singer-songwriter and I need that. That's a very important detail to me. What work am I going to have to put into it? What cost is that work going to inflict on me and my budget? And then, we round all that down to, is this worth it to me to buy? And at $350 for the guitar, $30 for shipping plus tax, I ended up $411 into this guitar. The LR Baggs Anthem that I put into it, I bought for a deal several months earlier. And I paid $150 for that, including shipping and tax. So $150 flat for that, plus $411. So we're up to $561, and then $25 to get the neck set back in place where it was supposed to be, because this is a bolt-on neck and they don't require a lot of work to get them put back into place. So all in all, I have less than $600 into this guitar so far. Once I put a new nut on it, it'll be about $600 even. And I'm still less than what this guitar would go for brand new, but it did have an LR Baggs Anthem pickup in it now, which is a high quality, high grade pickup. And overall, I can use it for anything that I normally would now as a singer-songwriter. So my cost of all of this, I value it at, $600 or whatever, but it was worth that to me because this exact same setup brand new would have cost me, about $1,200, and I just didn't have that much money right then. So overall, this has been worth it. What do you think? Leave it in the comments. Let's jump to point 2. Now this one I think is going to be super hard for some of you guys, and I think it's the reason why maybe you're struggling to find good deals on guitars and to have guitars that you want to own to begin with. Because like I say, value, cost, worth, all of that can add up to where it's worth it for you to buy a brand new guitar, but maybe you can't afford it. So my point number 2 is to save money. And honestly, most people could save money if they stopped buying crap, okay? You don't need another Chinese reverb pedal. And I'm not saying that to be, I don't have anything against Chinese reverb pedals, okay? I'm just saying, like, if you've got 3 of them, don't buy a third one just because it does one different thing than the other ones, okay? Stop buying, maybe you need to stop buying your coffee daily. You need to make coffee at home and save, I think a cup of coffee at home is worth like 30 cents versus buying coffee every day for $6 a piece. You can do the math on that and see how long it would take you to save up whatever it is that you want to own. But honestly, most of us, if we just stop buying stupid stuff, we could save a ton of money, okay? And once we save that money, guess what? As soon as we find a deal, snap it up like that, okay? Then it's ours for the taking because we can buy it immediately in the moment once we recognize it's a good deal. So stop buying stupid stuff. So, third, this is probably what people were thinking when I said how to get good deals on guitars. They were probably thinking I was talking about how to find them. That's only part of it, but this is that part of it. So let's start with Facebook Marketplace. You're gonna find better deals in bigger cities, okay? And you might have to drive a little ways for it. I don't like that, so I don't do it. But whenever I get on Facebook Marketplace, what I can find within an hour radius of me is way different than what I can find in a 3-hour radius of me, because I live in a small town versus a big city that's 3 hours away. I can find way better deals down there. Motivated buyers that are, they know what they have, but they also, maybe need to get rid of it for some reason. Maybe it's somebody going back to college and they don't have the space to store it anymore. Whatever the case may be, you're going to find better deals in bigger cities. That's just the way it is. Now, obviously, most of you guys probably know about Reverb and eBay. The way I find good deals on that is saved searches and honestly just repetition of searching the same things over, searching little variations like I talked about, details and stuff like that. If I continually search for a 0012 Martin, guess what? I wouldn't have found this guitar because this wouldn't pop up under a 000. It'll pop up under it won't pop up under 0012, it'll pop up under Martin 000, and then you search based on, you guys can search values and stuff like that. I just always put the price lowest to highest and scroll up from there because I know what my budget was, which was pretty low when I bought this not very long ago, to be honest. So save searches and then search by details. Like I said on the first point, you got to know the details of what you want to buy. If you want to actually find that deal. Another one you can do is searching thrift stores, antique stores, stuff like that. Not always a very good chance you're going to come across something cool, but it's possible. So, 5 minutes through a thrift store and I can generally tell if there's anything that I'm actually interested in. Another good way is to just ask the attendants like, hey, do you guys have any guitars? And if they don't, then leave. And if they do, check them out quick. And if you know what I talked about in point number 1, you'll be able to determine pretty quick what the guitar is actually worth and if it's worth your time and your investment to buy it. And the last one that I think a lot of people maybe overlook if we spend more time on the internet than we do in real person is get to know other musicians. So a buddy of mine, Quinlan Valdez, he's a folk musician. He's got music on Spotify, Apple Music, all of them. And he travels around the Western states here and plays shows for a living. That's what he does. Really cool guy, super nice, sweet guy. And he and I made a deal on a guitar. What would that have been? About 8 months ago maybe. I sold him a guitar that I had, and he never would have bought that particular guitar if he hadn't known me as a person. And I think that's really important that we forget a lot of times is some of the best connections we're going to have are friends that and don't do this just to get good deals on stuff. If you're going to make friendships for the people and not for what they can do for you, or else you're going to be miserable and they're probably going to hate you when it's all said and done. So don't be a jerk, be a good person, okay? So with that, let's jump into point 4 and 5 that kind of go hand in hand. The reason I say number 4 and 5 are very similar is because they're almost the same thing, but not quite. Number 4 is be willing to miss a few deals, and number 5 is be patient. The reason they're different is because this summer, I realized they were different because I was trying to buy a couple of different Guild guitars, and I missed several deals that were actually pretty good deals. Really cool guitars for really good prices. and I could have even flipped them and made some money off of them, which was what I was trying to do, but nobody would respond to me. However, if I had got those deals, I might have missed getting this guitar, and I like Martin Triplo's a lot better than I like Guild D4s. Just honestly, that's my preference. So be patient is a little bit different. Be patient is when you're sitting there with money and you're finding stuff kind of like what you want. You're finding good deals, but it's not what you're looking for. Don't go spend your money on something that you're not going to love, that you're going to be upset with or unhappy with, and it's not going to serve the purpose that you need it to. Don't go and buy something like that instead of waiting, because it might be like a day or a couple of weeks or even a month or so. If you sit on your resources and then wait for the right opportunity, you will find something. I can almost guarantee it. You will find something that fits what you want, what you need it for, and what you like. I can almost guarantee that almost every time. And I can't stress that enough, because I have done that where I got too excited, bought something, and then short time later, something else that I wanted more came up. But look here, I'm out of cash because I bought something 2 weeks ago or whatever. So don't get caught up in it. And then, just be good to everybody. Be honest in your dealings. I'd be remiss if I didn't say that. And I guess my little disclaimer here right at the end. I understand that everybody's in a different financial spot. I'm not trying to make anybody feel good or bad about how much money they have or what they have bought. I'm a gear fanatic. I love guitars so much. I think they're awesome. And I don't want to make anybody feel bad about not being able to buy guitars or buying too many guitars. That's not my place. I just want to help somebody find a good deal, make less mistakes than I have. And if you do these things, I'm pretty confident you'll find the deal that you're looking for. I hope this video was helpful. If you have bought a guitar for a good deal recently, I'd love it if you left that in the comments, and just kind of, if you got some tips or something that might help somebody else, please share those below as well. Let's make this video helpful for anybody else that's coming along the same path that we've already walked on. So with that, you guys have a great day. Be good to one another. And I hope to see you in the next video.